Moana 2 feels like an obligation. Like they had to give us a sequel, so they put something together and presented it to us. They gave us a story, not necessarily the best story they could give us. The movie is visually beautiful, and that's about all that transferred over from the first movie to the sequel. So in Moana 2, Moana journeys to the far reaches of Oceania after she receives a call from one of her wayfinding ancestors. She has to find the lost island of Motufetu to unite the people of the ocean, or else her home will eventually cease to exist. I like the goal. I think it's very touching, it's very moving. I like what she had to do. The biggest flaw of Moana 2 is that Moana has no internal journey. Thinking back to Moana 1, she was pushing boundaries. She was breaking recent tradition, right? Because we learned in the first movie that her people used to go out beyond the border that was established in Motonui. They used to go and explore, but somewhere along the line that changed, and so she was confined, and so she was breaking that. She was pushing boundaries, and she went beyond what was set out for her. Along the way, she's repeating the mantra, I am Moana of Motunui. You will board my boat, sail across the sea, and restore the heart of Te Fiti. That's her mantra. And she's thinking Maui's the key. And all she has is this connection that she has with the ocean and her grandmother guiding her. She's going out into the unknown. And the point is for her to find her voice, is for her to believe in her purpose, to claim her purpose, and to become confident in the path that she's walking. To the point that, like, eventually after she goes through, she loses Maui. Maui abandons her. And along the way, Maui had been downplaying her and saying, like, she's not good enough, like, she's not up for this. This is not her journey. She eventually changes that mantra to, I am Moana of Motunui. Aboard my boat, I will sail across the sea, and I will restore the heart of Te Fiti, or something like that. That's, like, yes, the goal is to, like, restore the heart of Te Fiti to save her people. But in order to do that, before she can do that, she has to believe in herself. She has to grow. She has to see herself as not a supporting player, but as the main character. And she ends up saving a goddess as a result. This movie, though, Moana 2, her journey is completely external. It is lacking everything that made the first movie special and incredible and touching, and, like, that gave me chills. And so, with that being said, with her journey being so external in Moana 2, it is no wonder that the songs don't hit. Because what are they going from? Nothing. She just has a goal. We meet Moana, she is chief, right where we left her, and she's chilling. The way she begins the movie is the way she ends the movie. The only difference is she accomplished what she set out to do. But she's not wrestling with anything. She doesn't need to grow. There's no flaw that she needs to fix. The story is not exploring her the way it did in the first movie. In Moana 2, she also gains a crew of 3 people aboard the boat, all of whom are loosely defined, loosely drawn. So even if they weren't gonna do something with Moana internally, they could have done something with one of those characters, but they choose not to. And it's ironic that they added more people to her crew when they accomplished more with just her, Maui, and Heihei in the first movie aboard the boat than they did in this one. Quality over quantity. Even the antagonist in this movie, it gave bare minimum. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, this is where I'm going to encourage you to scroll, because I'm going to say something very, very specific that will ruin part of the plot, or at least the tension, if you haven't seen the movie yet. So this is your chance. Scroll, 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 or save this and come back to it after you've seen the movie. So now I'm guessing that the only people here are people who have seen the movie or who don't mind being spoiled. The revelation that Matangi's real motivation was just holding Maui hostage so that he and Moana could journey to go see the villain together. Like, that was the whole point of her putting Maui through that, so she's not actually a villain. I was sitting there like, this is the best y'all could come up with for this storyline after all these years. That was a letdown. And then we don't actually see the villain, the bad guy, until the very, very end, which seems to be a setup for either a third movie or a series on Disney Plus. This movie is doing very, very well. Like, it has out-earned Moana. So probably will be a third movie. I hope that Moana 2 is more of a I hope Moana 2 turns out to be like the sophomore slump. I don't know if that term is still used for like TV series where like season 2 is usually like not that good, whereas season 1 would like have an upswing. Season 2 is usually more of a slump. They would call it the sophomore slump. I hope that that's the case for Moana 2, and that if there is a third movie, they get back to Moana herself and not just what she can do and not just things sounding good on the surface, but her actually developing as a character. So those are my thoughts about the movie. I give it a 3 out of 5. If you've seen it, let me know what you think.